General characteristics of Romanticism. The term Romanticism has been used in varying contexts and has come to mean different things to different people. And we have already seen this while taking a look at the various definition given to Romanticism by the various critics. The German poet Friedrich Schiller, who is given credit for using the term romantic to describe literature, defined it as literature depicting emotional matter in an imaginative form. So, imagination, emotion, freedom, subjectivity, spontaneity, individualism, love of and worship of nature, fascination with the past are some of the important characteristics of Romanticism. And any list of the general characteristics of Romanticism without these would be incomplete. So let us discuss these characteristics in detail. Mystery, one of the elemental characteristics of Romanticism, and the subtle sense of mystery, points out Rickett, is compounded of awe in the presence of the unknown, wonder in the presence of the known, and an exquisite response to manifestations of beauty. So the romantic, they seek for the strange and mysterious, and they reveal the wonder of things removed from real life. Now, these romantics, they believe that there are more things in heaven and earth than are seen in the everyday life, and it is this feeling that arouse their curiosity in the unearthly and the supernatural. So, the romantic poet Coleridge, he found mystery in the supernatural, whereas Wordsworth found mystery in the natural. For Wordsworth, it is said that Mr. Wordsworth was to give the charm of novelty to things of everyday and to excite a feeling analogous to that of the supernatural by awakening the mind. So we see that Wordsworth, he revealed mystery in the common objects of nature and human life, whereas Shelley spiritualized nature. All the Romantic poets were greatly influenced by Rousseau's call of return to nature. The Romantics worshipped nature. Nature was a great inspiration to the Romantics. They were ecstatic about it, and they idealized it in their poetry. Nature was a guide, a nurse, a teacher, a rejuvenating force, a moralizing influence. Wordsworth praises nature in Tintern Abbey, that blessed mode in which the burden of the mystery, in which the hearsay and the weary weight of all this unintelligible world is lightened. Like Wordsworth, Byron too expresses his love for nature in Childe Harold. I love not man the less, but nature more. From these are interviews in which I steal from all I may be or have been before to mingle with the universe and feel what I can never express yet cannot all control. So nature occupied a pivotal position in the Romantic poetry. Romantic verse was suffused with reverence for the natural world. The Romantic poets were not just lyrical about the natural things like mountains, trees, clouds, rivers, but they personified nature. Wordsworth is the greatest worshipper of nature. He is a mystic and pantheist in his treatment of nature. Keats is sensuous. All the Romantic poets manifested boundless faith in nature, which is well expressed in poems like Ode to the West Wind by Shelley, Ode to Autumn by Keats, lines composed about Tintern Abbey by Wordsworth, and so on. Imagination, a powerful concept with the Romantics. Now, imagination was already evident in the works of the precursors like Collins, and Goldsmith. And the Romantics, they developed a systematic philosophy of imagination in their prose works like Preface to Lyrical Ballads, Coleridge Biography Literaria, and Shelley's Defense of Poetry. The Romantic poetry is fanciful and introspective. It is often marked by extravagance, and the Romantics are highly imaginative. They do not think that the writers should be realistic and factual. They seek an ideal condition for human beings in their high soaring and unlimited imagination. The poetry of these Romantic poets is full of imagination. Keats flies to the fanciful world of the nightingale in his most beautiful poem, Ode to Nightingale. And similarly, we see even Wordsworth's poetry is full of imagination, like in Tintern Abbey. So, Romanticism, which was seen as a revolt against the Augustan cult of reason, gave a free play to imagination. And through imagination, the inanimate cold world is transformed into something real and living by the Romantics. So, Rickett, he defines Romanticism as the expression in terms of art of sharpened sensibilities and heightened imaginative feeling. So, imagination is also a very important characteristic of Romanticism. The precursors of Romanticism, like Collins, James Macpherson, Thomas Percy, and others, had started showing a deep interest in the world of historical past. And Thomas Percy's Relics on Ancient English Poetry was a major work in this field. The Romantics, they also showed a love for the medieval world, and the Romanticism is also viewed as the Romantic revival, as the revival of the Middle Ages. And the Romantics, they looked to the medieval world for the element of mysticism, and to the classical world of Greece and Rome for the strange, the ultimate in beauty, and fascination for the remote and unachievable. Keats' Ode on a Grecian Urn is a very good example of how the ancient past inspired these poets. The Romantics actually revolted against the existing condition, and they wanted to get away from the pressure of the present reality, and so they looked to the past, for the past was removed from present reality, and it is remoteness and distance that lends a wonder and enchantment. So the Romantics, they went back especially to the Middle Ages, and it was not only the content and the subject, but even the forms were revived, like the Spenserian stanza, the lyric, the ballad, uh, all the forms which became quite popular in the Romantic period, and history embraced by Romanticism gave birth to historical novel, which fascinated the great romantic novelist Scott. And Scott, Coleridge, and Keats were the three romantic poets who dealt with the past and the Middle Ages greatly.